I'm seeing a lot of people online complaining about the fact that the Western world, as it's called, is becoming unlivable. People cite high housing costs, lower incomes, more hours expected to be worked, and job insecurity as just a few reasons why this is a part of the world which is just not thriving anymore. The actual truth behind it is, I think, Western culture as a whole has not kept up with reality and with the technological advancements and cultural advancements that we're seeing in our parts of the world. Now, for this video, I'm not focusing just on the UK. I want to speak about the US, Canada, North America as a whole. I want to speak about Europe as well. I want to speak about Australia and a lot of these other countries which people consider to be Western. Now, you see, the traditional idea from when, let's say, my granddad was young, and your granddad too, was likely to be, you go to school, you either get a degree or you go straight into work, your job pays you and you use that money to get a mortgage or a house of some sort. When you've done all that, or perhaps even before, you meet a girlfriend which you make your wife, you have a couple of kids, you get a car, and you can go on holiday every couple of years. And I hear people looking at modern salaries, like, graduates who are getting paid like £20,000 a year, or anything like that. It depends what country you're in, what field you're in. And people like to make this argument that, oh, well, that's an unlivable wage. It is, for a lot of people. Can you live on that wage? Yes, you can. However, the quality of life that you'll have on that wage is going to be quite low. Even if we make it 25,000, it's going to be lower than what a lot of people will be happy with. So what does that mean? It means that a lot of people, and the statistics back this up, can't afford housing. A lot of people are doing flat shares, house shares. A lot of people are still living with mum and dad well into their mid-20s. So, undeniably, this is leading a lot of people to think that the culture's broken, the society's broken. And in some ways, it is. But I think that the issue is perhaps a little bit more sort of nuanced than that. And the real truth of it, I think, is that the culture has not kept up. Corporate culture has not kept up. Individuals' culture has not kept up. Now, this is something that I think our generation, the Gen Zers, are starting to pick up onto. But this concept is broken. And this is what's holding back our part of the world and people in our part of the world. Because we're all trying to buy into a lifestyle that simply doesn't work for most. You guys don't need to have a 3-4 bedroom house. The statistics say it, less people are having children. Facts say it. More and more people are single, so you don't need to have a 4-bedroom house for that either. High paying job everybody wants, but not a lot of people are skilled. And when I say skilled, I don't mean having a degree, I mean having genuine skills. You guys want to have a look at being an electrician, a plumber, a plasterer. I know 16 and 17-year-olds who do apprenticeships in that, and they're set up to still make very, very good money as soon as they kind of graduate from their apprentice program. So, things like that. The world has changed, but also, with AI looming, it's about time that we make a change before we're forced to and before it's too late. For those of you who've never seen this channel before, you've never seen me before, I am somebody who's been documenting my life and my thoughts on this channel for well over a year. And well over a year ago, I started my biggest and most ambitious online business venture yet, where I started reselling or dropshipping stuff on eBay. It was high risk, and so far it's been relatively high reward. Last month, I made about £8,300 in revenue and profits well around £2,500. So my point is this. That is around about, if not more than the average UK salary. If I went to work full time as well, I also do have a job, I can obviously get up to potentially even £50,000 a year profit. But the best way to do it is by stacking multiple online incomes, i.e. multiple businesses. But here's my fact. The way of the world of yesterday is dead. Fighting for that way of the world is a game that can't be won. Employers care less and less. Jobs relatively pay less and less. Housing's going up. Cost of living's going up. Taxes are going up. It costs more to live. So anybody still focusing on this lifestyle, I think, is focusing on an archaic view. Listening to parents generally will not work as well because times are different. Having money in a savings account, for example, and I'm not an investment expert, obviously, I'm a guy in the woods, right? I think there should be common sense. But at the same time, you guys can't have money in savings accounts for most of you. Because savings, you're actually losing money due to inflation. You need to have investments. You need to have online incomes. These are not wants, You know, back in the 2010s, and people might say, well, that's not a long time ago. Trust me, guys, it is. I did an inflation calculator on the Bank of England's website earlier today, and it was something like 35, I might be wrong on the exact numbers, but something along the lines of £3,500 in 2018 or 2017 is worth about 4,300 now. So yeah, 10 years ago was a big difference. That's not even 10 years ago. But my point is this, you guys need to catch up. Again, it's now not a maybe I'm going to have money in stocks or maybe I'm going to invest. Come on, it's crunch time, right? Everybody needs to have some sort of a side income. Everybody does. If they want to have the same quality of life, you want to start thinking about building a business. And again, I hear a lot of old people, mainly old people to be fair, who have this notion that starting an online business or any kind of business comes with the same level of risk. And it absolutely doesn't. For example, if I wanted to start a cafe in the middle of town, I'm going to need probably hundreds of thousands of pounds of startup costs or anything like that. To start my dropshipping reselling business, I used capital of 0, right? If you guys want to learn how to do it a bit faster, you can join my Patreon page, link is in the bio, but that's only going to cost you between £15 and £125. So that's your startup cost if you want to learn from me. But I learned for 0. You guys can learn from 0. It's just going to take a bit longer. You know, this YouTube channel, yeah, I'm putting in a lot of episodes, but think about it. It is making me free money, and it is basically free money. But at the same time, startup cost, 0. Let's not lie, we all have a smartphone and connection to the internet anyway, so it's 0. You guys need to have something. Teaching people online, selling stuff, I don't know, making content. I don't know what it's going to be. Some sort of online skill is going to be a necessity for this upcoming generation, and invest in all that cash. You guys need to think, as I do, of a way that's going to get you 50 to 100 to 150,000 pounds in cash or assets that can help you to invest. Imagine, realistically, if you had 100k to put on a house deposit, or even just buy a house outright, depending on which country you're in or whereabouts in the country, you're now set in a house. Then you can start to maybe, you can, you know, flip houses potentially, buy, renovate, remortgage, refit, whatever it is, all that sort of stuff you can potentially do. And now you're laughing, or you're at least on the opposite side of the scale. Now, the idea of working is something that I always knew from a young age. I'm not saying this with any kind of superiority, and I know some people are going to say I'm lazy, but I knew it didn't always work. If you're broke, you need a job. You need a job. But if you can make money online, you can probably make more. For instance, if I was to pick up a 5-hour shift on minimum wage, I'm going to be getting about, what, £60, something like that. I'll give you an example. I sold an item the other day where literally I just got a message on my phone whilst I was eating some food. Bang, your item has sold. That made me £190 profit in 1 second. So, and obviously I had to do the eBay listing for it, but what's that, 5-10 minutes? You guys need an online income or skill. This is a necessity going into the 2030s, and you need to hedge against inflation and other market turmoils. This is just a fact. I'm not going to give specifics because, again, I don't want to. I'm not a financial expert, and I'm still learning this myself, if I'm honest. But the good old days are not the same. In a lot of ways, we are in the great new days. And that might sound stupid. It might sound like, why would you even say that when we're seeing all these crimes and issues? Think about it. We've got people now making hundreds of thousands of pounds or more from making videos like this. We've got people who are making millions at the click of a finger or from playing their dream game. And I'm not saying it's all easy. It's a lot easier than it has been in the past, but compare this to working down a coal mine for 12 hours a day, and we're laughing in this generation. We're absolutely laughing. But the reason why a lot of you guys are really struggling is because you're listening to parents and grandparents and people from a time gone by who do not understand the challenges of our generation. It's now not good enough to just be one guy, you know, who's going to try find a wife and kids, and we're just going to buy a small... It's a world that's not going to work. Inflation's killing you guys. Taxes are killing you guys. It's the cost of living is going to ruin you. This is just what I'm seeing as objective facts. And whether you want to keep a job as well, a lot of you guys probably should. I've spoken about this before too. But whether you want to have a job as well, you need to be boosting your income. And like I say, you will be surprised. It's one of these things that people don't understand. And when I tell people this on YouTube or even in real life, and I bring up the charts to say, hey guys, I am actually making X amount of money online from this, this, and this, people then be like, no. I've got circles online, in real life, people who I know, people who I meet with, who are killing it on the internet, right? Just like I am, trying to at least. Couple of £1,000s a month from this income, couple of hundred from that one. This one's building up, so we might get a couple of thousand in a couple of years from that. There's people smashing it, but they're taking advantage of today's new opportunities. And a lot of you guys are not. So I'm not saying that everything of the past is done, but the reason why I think a lot of you guys are really struggling with Western culture and the cost of living in this part of the world is because the culture, the corporate culture, the societal culture even, is not keeping up with the changes that we're seeing. You know, 50 years ago, basically nobody worked with computers. Now we all do, to some degree. We all work with computers. We all interact with computers on a day-to-day basis. Number one, that's going to create different efficiencies and inefficiencies in the workplace. Number two, it creates a new market to market to. You see, this is the great technological age, and there's more opportunity now than there has been for, I would say, at least a generation. Yeah, the idea of buying a house and watching it get you to $1 million might be done. But you can start a zero startup. Just make a YouTube channel, right? Make a YouTube channel, sell some stuff online, maybe join my course, whatever. Maybe don't. Start an Amazon account, start an eBay, start selling on Etsy, start a Facebook marketplace, start a group, start teaching people, start sharing your skills, I don't want to go on for ages, but you guys know what I'm saying here. A lot of you guys are not even trying to take advantage of the modern opportunities, and that is what's going to be holding you back.